Welcome to Doubt Forum. In this video, we will be learning about the extreme points of a graph. The other name of extreme points is the maxima and minima. So the maxima and minima of a graph we will be explaining in this video. So to understand this better, I will be using a graph. Suppose this is a function whose graph is represented in x and y axis. Here x-axis is representing the domain for which the function is defined, and on the y-axis the value of function is defined. So as the name of the topic suggests, maxima and minima. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to find out the maximum and minimum value for this function. So as we can see that over this range of x, the function has achieved a maximum value somewhere here. This is the point where the function has the maximum value, and it is something like equal to this point. Okay. On the other hand, if we talk about the minimum point, so this is the point where the function has the least value or the minimum value. So this will be like this. So from here we can see that this point is representing the maximum value of function, and this point, for this point, the corresponding value for the function is minimum. So from here one thing is clear, that the function will always have one maxima and one minima. So when we talk about only one, or the one which is highest or lowest, so because this is the highest point, there's no other point in this graph which is higher than this. Similarly, this point is the lowest point and no other point in this graph is lower than this. So such point which is having the highest degree, we call this point as the absolute maximum point. As the name absolute itself defined, that this at this value, at this point, the function has achieved the maximum possible value. Maximum possible value, that is the absolute maximum value, and no other point other than this will have a maximum value more than this value. Similarly, this point is representing the lowest value for whole of the function. So this point, or the value of function corresponding to this value of x, we call this point as the absolute minimum point. So this is how the absolute maxima and absolute minima is defined. So if we just draw, as we have drawn these two lines, one for the absolute maximum, the second one is for the absolute minimum, so we can easily see that the function is always changing its value between the absolute maximum and absolute minimum. So the function will never cross these two lines. If this line is representing the absolute maximum line and this line is representing the absolute minimum line, so function will never cross these two lines. The function will always vary in between these two lines. And the function will always have only one absolute maximum and only one absolute minimum. So this is about the absolute points. Now, other than this, there's one more concept here, and that concept is about the local minima and local maxima. So far we have talked about the absolute points. Absolute means the point which is having the highest, and at no other point the function will have achieved a more value than this point. Similarly, no lower value than this point. So these 2 points are representing the absolute maxima and absolute minima respectively. So other than this, we can see that the function, as this function is changing its value, so at certain points, there are certain points where the function has some value. Suppose we consider this point. So at this point, the function has some value which is higher than its neighbors. When I say neighbor, it means we have to move backward as well as forward. So we will see that if we move little bit forward, we can see that this is the point which has achieved the maximum value. Similarly, if I move little bit backward, then also the value at this point is maximum. So this point is not having the absolute maximum value, but locally if we see locally, because suppose instead of taking the whole domain, let's take a small tiny domain of this. So in this range from here to here, we can see that this point has certain maximum value. So this point or other points similar to this, we have named it as the local maxima point, because this is locally maximum. So this point is called as the local maxima. And one other name is also given, because we can say it local or we can also say it as the relative maxima, because relatively this point has the maximum value when we compare it with its surroundings or neighbors. One thing always need to keep in mind that when I say neighbor, we have to see both sides. We also have to check its left as well as its right. Then only we can name it as the local maxima or relative maxima point. Let's take the example of this point. This point is having some lower value of function, but definitely this point is not the lowest of this whole function graph. So instead of saying it as the absolute minima, because we cannot name it as the absolute minima, because the term absolute is always used for the point which is lowest for entire range or for entire function. This point is having some minimum value only it's when we compare it with its surrounding. And when I say surrounding, I have to look both side of this point. So as we move towards the right, like suppose up to few values of x, and similarly as we move towards the left, we can see that this point is having relatively minimum value. So this point we can name it as relative minima or local minima. So this point is representing the local minima point. This point is representing the local maxima point. This point is also representing the local maxima point, because when we compare this value of function, because corresponding to this point the value of function is something like here, and we compared in the both side of this point, we can see that this point has attained some higher value. So this point is also representing the local maxima or relative maxima. This point is representing the absolute minima. This point is representing the absolute minima, and this point is also representing, this point is locally minimum and as well as absolutely minimum. So all the absolute point may be relatively minimum. Similarly, if we talk about this point is representing the locally maximum point. This point is representing the locally minimum point. Now, this point is not representing, so before this, let me explain this point. This point is not representing the local minima or absolute minima, because the absolute minima is this, and all absolute minima is always 1 in number. This point, if we say that this point is representing the relative or locally minima, when we check the both side, so as we check towards the right, we will see that this point has the maximum minimum value, but we cannot check towards the left of this function because there's no value defined for below this point of x. So this point, we cannot define this point as the local or absolute minima or maxima. So this point we will not consider. Okay, so this point are representing the local maxima or relative maxima, and this point is representing the local minima. This point is representing the absolute minima point, and this point is representing the absolute maxima. Because to check the absolute minima or absolute maxima, we only have to check the value of function at that point. We are not supposed to check see the both side of that point, because when we say absolute, it means the value of function has achieved the maximum or minimum. No other value of function or at any point in the domain function has not achieved more than this or lower than this. So this is about the absolute minima and absolute maxima. So now we will see that how to find the local minima and local maxima point. Earlier we have discussed to differentiate the local minima from the absolute values. Now we will see that how can we find the local minima and local maxima. So before we see that how to find those points, in this graph, let me just mark the point which are representing the local minima and local maxima. So as we can see that, suppose let me make it little bit clear by just extending it little bit lower. Now, as we can see that this point, at this point of graph, this point is representing the lowest value. Similarly, this point is representing the maximum value. So it's easily, when a graph is given, it's very easy to just find out the absolute minimum and absolute maximum. Now, other than these two absolute minima and absolute maxima point, there are some local minima and local maxima also. So this point is representing a local or relative maxima point. This point is representing a local minima or relative minima point. Similarly, this point is also representing the local or relative maxima point, and this point is representing the local or relative minima points. So these 4 points are representing the local minima and local maxima. Suppose this is a function fx The function is defined in the domain of x. So if we take the derivative of this function, so what does the derivative of a function give us? So derivative of a function always tell us about the slope or the rate at which the function is changing. So if we, let's say this is a function fx, and if we just take the derivative of this function, so at any point the derivative of this function will tell us about the slope. Suppose at this point, if at this point we need to find the slope, we just need to draw a tangent. So this tangent which is touching this point will tell us about the slope at this point. Similarly, at any point, if we just want to know the slope, we just need to draw a tangent. So if the tangent is touching at this point, so this point will be representing this line will be representing the slope at this point. So the derivative of a function will tell us about the slope. So one thing is very clear, that the slope of the graph at the relative minima and relative maxima point are 0. How? Because this point is representing the local maxima point, and if we just draw the tangent at this point, so this is having a parallel with the x-axis. When the tangent is parallel with the x-axis, it means the slope at this point is 0. Similarly, if I just draw the slope at this point of the function, this will also be a parallel to x-axis line. Similarly, this maxima point will also have the slope of 0, and this minima point will also have the slope of 0. So from here, one thing is very clear, that at the local minima or local maxima points, the slope of the function is 0. But we are not sure that which one is representing the maxima point and which one is representing the minima point, because for both the points the slope will be 0. And how can we find the slope? We can simply find the slope by just taking the differentiation, and the differentiation will tell us about the slope. And when we equate it to the 0, because only at these points the slope is 0, other than this the slope will have some values. It might be a positive number or a negative number, but at these local extremes we can see that the slope has a 0 value. So if we just take the derivative of function, it will give us the slope, and if we equate that derivative equal to 0, this will tell us about the points where the slope is 0, and those points where the slope is 0 is simply representing the local extreme points. So by taking the derivative, we can easily find these points. Now, one more thing is also need to look after, and that is, if this is a point where the slope is 0, just before that if we draw a tangent, it will be having a direction of this. So this will be representing a positive slope, and just after this point, just after the 0 slope point, if I draw a tangent, it will be like this, and this will be having a negative value. So if the slope is changing from positive to negative, because before this point the slope is positive, and just after the point the slope is negative. If the slope before the point is positive and after the point is negative, then definitely this middle point will be representing a local maxima. Now take the example of local minima. In local minima, if we just draw a tangent before this point, it will be like this, and this will be representing a negative slope. And just after this local minima point, because the function is rising like this, so the slope will be like this. So this is a positive number. So before this point the slope has a negative value, and just after this point the slope has a positive value. It means if the change in slope is from negative to positive, it will be representing a local minima, and if the change in slope is from positive to negative, it will be representing a local maxima point. Because the first derivative of function tell us about the slope of the function. Now if we take the second derivative, the second derivative of the function will tell us about the rate at which the slope is changing. The first will tell us about the slope, and the second will tell us about the rate at which the slope is changing. So here the rate of change of slope is negative, because the final value is having some minus value and initial is positive. So here the change in slope is negative. Here the change in slope is positive, because the final number is positive, initial number is negative. And when we find out the difference, we always have to subtract final number minus initial number. So here we will get a positive number. So if the double differentiation of a function at these extreme points, local extreme points, is having a negative number, then it will be representing a local maxima point or relative maxima point. On the other hand, if the double differentiation of the function at any of these locally extreme points having a positive number, it means it will be representing a local minima, and this one is representing the local maxima. So one thing should be very clear, that the double differentiation at these points, if that double differentiation is having a negative number, it means that point is representing the local maxima point. And if the double differentiation of a function at any locally extreme points having a positive number, it means that extreme point is representing a local minima. Okay, so this will be more clear by an example. So let's take this example as y equals x cube minus 3x square plus 6. This is a function given and we are asked to find the minima and maxima. So in order to, first step is always to find these extreme points, and at these extreme points the slope is 0, so the first differentiation of this function will be equal to 0. So if we firstly differentiate this, so this will become dy by dx, this will be equal to 3x square minus 6x, and we have to equate it to the 0 because the slope at these extreme points are 0. So when we equate it to 0, this will become 3x square is equal to 6x, or this x will get cancelled, this will become 2. So x will come out to 2, or other value will be 0, because for 0 also this equation will be satisfying. So there are two values, the first one is 2 and the second one is 0. So 2 and 0 are the two extreme points, but we don't know which one is representing the local maxima and which one is representing the local maxima. So in order to find that local maxima and local minima, we have to take further differentiation. So we will further differentiate these functions. So suppose this one is the f dash x, so this will become f double dash x, and we will further differentiate this value. So this will become 6x minus 6. So this is the double differentiation, and this will tell us about the rate at which the slope is changing. So when we put x equals to 2 here, so this equation will become, when we putting the x equals to 2, so 6 into 2 will be 12, 12 minus 6, and this will become 6. It is a positive number. When the double differentiation at the extreme point has a positive number, it means it is representing a local minima point. So this one is representing the local minima point. So this value is correspond to x equals to 2. So at x equals to 2, the function has achieved a minimum value. Now when we put x as 0 in this equation, this term will become 0. So when x equals to 0, so this whole equation will become equal to minus 6. Here the minus sign is showing that this is representing a local maxima. So this is corresponding to x equals to 0. So when x equals to 0, this is representing a maxima point. If we are also asked to find the minima and maximum value. So in order to find the minimum value, we have to put x equals to 2 in the original equation or in the original function. And in order to find the maximum value, we have to put x equals to 0 in this function. So when we put x equals to 2 in the original function, this function y term will become like, when we put x equals to 2, this will become 2 cube minus 3 into 2 square plus 6. So this will become 8 minus 3 into 4 plus 6. And this will become 8 minus 12 plus 6. This will become 8 minus 6 or 2. So this 2 is corresponding to x equals to 2. And at x equals to 2, the value is minimum. So this is the minimum value of the function. This is the minimum value of the function. And in order to find the maximum value, we have to put x equals to 0 in the equation. So when x equals to 0, this y will become, the first and second term will become 0. So the third term is x. So this y equals to 6 is representing the maxima, or this is the maximum value the function has attained. Apart from this, we also have to check at the extreme points. So we can only check the extreme points when the range for which the function is defined is given. Suppose it is given that the function is defined in the closed interval of 2 to 6. Then only by putting x equals to 2, we can find the value corresponding to this point. And if we put x equals to 6, then we can find the value corresponding to this extreme points or the last point. These initial and the final points might be representing the minimum or maximum value, or it might not be. But just to confirm, we need these range for which the function is defined. If the range is not given, we will not be able to find the value at this starting and this final point. So we will only use the first and second differentiation test in order to find these hill and valley points. Okay, now let me take another example just to make it a little bit more clear. Suppose a function fx is equals to 2x cube minus 9x square plus 12x plus 5 is given, and it is also defined that the function is defined x closed interval of 0 and 3. So here the closed interval is also given, and now we are asked to find the minimum and maximum value. So we will, using the test which we have just learned, we will be finding the local as well as the absolute, because when the range is given we can easily test the initial and the final value, and then we will compare it with this mountain and the valley points. So we will be checking it one by one. So first of all, we have to find the points where the slope is 0. So just to find the points where the slope is 0, we have to take the differentiation of this function and we will equate it to the 0. So the differentiation of this equation will become 6x square minus 18x plus 12. Now we have to equate it to the 0 in order to get the value of x. So here it will become x square minus 3x plus 2 equals to 0, or x square minus 2x minus x plus 2 equals to 0. Here x minus 2 minus 1 x minus 2, this will equal to 0. So the solution will come out to x minus 2 and x minus 1 equal to 0. So the value of x is 1 and 2. So these two are representing the extreme points, but we don't know that which one of these 2 points is representing the maxima and which one is representing the minima. So in order to differentiate that, we need to take the double differentiation test. So what we will do, we will further differentiate this equation, and when we further differentiate, we will call it as the double differentiation f double dash x. This will be, we will further differentiate this, so this will become 12x minus 18. So this is the double differentiation. Now we will put x equals to 1 when x equals to 1. This double differentiation f double dash x when x equals to 1 will become 12 minus 18, and which is minus 6. It is representing a negative number. So when this is negative, it means the value for which the double differentiation is negative is representing that value. I mean that value is representing a minima point. So at x equals to 1, the function is minimum. Now we cannot say whether it is a local minimum or absolute minimum. We will only know that whether it is a local or maximum after checking these initial and the final point as well. Now the second thing is that we have to put x equals to 2. When we put x equals to 2 in this double differentiation function f double dash x, this will become 12 into x is equal to 2 minus 18. It means 24 minus 18. This is representing a plus 6. When the sign of a double differentiation is positive, it means the number this for which the sign is positive is representing a local minima point. Sorry, this one is representing the local maxima, and x equals to 2 is representing the local or relative maxima. It might be absolute as well. Sorry, this one is the minima. Let me erase this. This one is representing the minima, and this one is representing the maxima. Now what we will do, we will put the value of x as 1, 2, and also we have to check at these initial and final points. So by putting the x as 0, 1, 2 and 3, we will find that what is the function is, what value are we getting. So when x equals to 0, when x is 0, the fx, this function, this term and this term will become 0. So the value will be, fx will become 5. When x equals to 1, this function fx at x equals to 1 will become, this will become 1, 2 minus 9 plus 12 plus 5 become as 10. So we have checked at x equals to 0 and x equals to 1. Now we have to check for x equals to 2. When x equals to 2, the function fx will be having, we just simply put x equals to 2, and I am just writing here the answer. This will give us the answer as 9. And lastly, we also have to put x equals to 3 in here. So for x equals to 3, this function fx will be having, just simply put x equals to 3 here, and I'm just writing the answer. So this will tell us about, this will give us 14. So here we can see that the 4 value are 5, 10, 9 and 14. So here we can see that this one is the lowest value. So this one is representing the absolute minimum point. This one is the highest value. So this one is representing the absolute maxima. This one is representing x equals to 1. For x equals to 1, the value is representing the maxima. So this one is representing the local maxima. Now for x equals to 2, this is representing a local minima. So this will be representing a local minima. Okay, I think this is clear. Now let me just quickly revise this equation again. So this is the function given in terms of x, the fx is defined. Now we are asked to find the value, the minimum and the maximum value. The duration or the domain is also defined for which the function is valid. So the first step always is to differentiate and equate it to 0 just to get the point where the slope is 0. So we will just differentiating this and equating it to the 0. So here, from here we will get x equals to 1 and 2 respectively. Now we have to check that which of these 2 points is representing the maximum and which one is representing the minimum. So to differentiate that, we have to take the double differentiation of the function. So we further differentiate this equation and we will get this. Okay, now we will put x equals to 1 in this double differentiated function. When we put x equals to 1, the double differentiated function will have a negative value. When the double differentiation having a negative value, it means the slope is changing from positive to negative. Or this one is representing a maxima point. This one is representing a maxima point. So it is very clear that x equals to 1 is a maximum point. And when we put x equals to 2, here we will see it will be giving us a positive number. When the double differentiation is a positive number, it means the rate of change of slope is positive, or this one is representing a local minimum. So x equals to 2 is the local. It might be absolute as well. It will be only clear once we also check the value for these two given range. So x equals to 2 is representing the local minima. So what we will do, we will put x equals to 1 in the equation given and x equals to 2 in the given equation. Also we will check for x equal to 0 and x equals to 3. So when x equals to 0, we will find the value of function as 5. When x equals to 1, we will find the value as 10. When x equals to 2, the value of function is 9. And when x equals to 3, the value of function is 14. So the 4 values of function are 5, 9, 10 and 14. So out of these 4, the maximum of these 4 is 14. So this one is absolute maximum. The lowest is 5. So this one is the absolute minimum. Other two, we can say that for x equals to 1, this is a local maxima. So this x equals to 2 is representing a local maxima. For x equals to 2, this will definitely a minima. So this for x equals to 2, we have got the value of function as 9. So this 9 is the local minimum value. Okay. So I think this is clear. Now the other topic for maxima and minima is for the modulus function. And I am not covering that modulus function in this video. For the modulus function, I will be creating a new video and the description to that will be provided in the link. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.